Good evening, folks. Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics on Unfiltered. Tonight, Empire Casino in the Yonkers Public Schools. Good evening, folks. This is Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, talk about Empire City and the Yonkers Public Schools. What's up with all that money we were supposed to be getting? And how will this new deal look? MGM Grand coming in. Also, we need unity, folks. Unity. Come on, guys. What's going on here? Residents of the city of Yonkers attacking other residents for speaking out. It's not okay. It's not okay. Good evening, folks. How you doing? I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Hump Day. Folks, I want to talk about the Empire City Casino. And, you know, the Rooney family have sold to MGM Grand. They're going to be coming in, and they're going to do full gaming. They're going to have the blackjack tables and all. And they're going to also look to put a hotel over there on the east side. And so it's going to change a lot of that area. And someone mentioned on the last podcast that we may need more law enforcement, more police officers, because it has attracted crime in the past, and they would imagine that it would only attract more crime, you know, as people leaving the casino with their earnings there. Well, I should say their winnings, right? They may get robbed on the way to their car. So, you know, it's going to change a lot for that area. Southeast Yonkers is normally, you know, more housing, a little bit quiet. And yes, we have the casino there now, but I would imagine what they're looking to bring in with MGM Casino, full gaming, and a hotel is going to heavily increase the traffic in that area. And so I would like to know how people on the east side are feeling about the possibilities of all that. Is it going to be a good thing? Is it worth it? Do we get a lot out of this, right? Are we getting something in return? Is it, you know, beneficial to the city residents? Most importantly, I want to read this article from 2012, right? So I want to take a trip back into time and come back up to 2022. Yonkers school officials are calling revenue generated at Empire City Casino for education a godsend. A godsend. Over the past 5 years, the casino has provided more than $150 million to the district. Well, that's a lot of money. And this is 2012. This started in 2009. About $20 million comes to Yonkers in host community aid, Mayor Mike Spano said. That is unique to us. Of all the 7 tracks across the state, Yonkers is the only area to receive host community aid. That was something we fought for when plans for video terminals were approved. And now, so, you know, it's funny that he says that, right? We're the only city that gets this, and we're so lucky. It's a godsend. So then why are we always being compared to Rochester and saying that we don't get enough from the state? They always give Rochester this money, and that's, you know, Syracuse this money, but we are one of the big fives, probably, you know, one of the bigger of the big fives besides New York City. Yeah, we get shortchanged all the time. That's what they always say, right? That's the argument that we've been hearing forever now, right? So an average of $300 million in revenue from Empire City Casino goes to New York State each year, giving schools specifically in Yonkers some relief. In June, the casino generated a record of nearly $24 million. Wow, that's incredible. That's a lot of money there. Education officials hope to cash in. This is back in 2006. So this was when they were talking about it, right? Education officials hope to cash in as Empire City Casino opens for business. After months of delays, the multi-million-dollar Empire City Casino opened its doors at the Yonkers Raceway Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Hey, officials say Empire City will employ 1,400 people and take an estimated $400 million a year. Wow. City officials are counting on millions of that money for the city's financially strapped schools. It's estimated that the Yonkers Schools District will receive $20 million annually from the casino revenue. While gamblers couldn't wait to take advantage of the 1,800 video lottery terminal machines, the horsemen at the track say that they are upset there's no harness racing. Officials say they plan to have more than 5,000 video lottery terminals up and running by the end of the year. Wow, $400 million a year. And how much did they really make? They made a lot more, right? They made a lot of money, buku cash. The biggest winner at MGM is ESP, aka Nick Spano. And for anyone who may not know what ESP means, is Empire Strategic Planning. That is the consulting firm owned by the mayor's brother, Nick Spano, former senator. He gets a lot of money from various companies throughout the city of Yonkers for consulting, right? And even some of the unions, or all the unions, right? He gets money, we know, from the CLSA union as well as the PBA. We've spoken about that recently on podcast with Anthony DiMaggio. And so 10,000 per month. Wow, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And I'm going to talk about that in regards to Empress a little later on when I talk about, cadet programs here in the city of Yonkers. Why are the schools in shambles if Yonkers receives this revenue? Exactly. And that is why I'm talking about it, right? And I'm glad you asked that question, because that's the point of this podcast. Where is the money going, right? Someone said in an email that I got that our schools should not be anywhere near the conditions that they are because the casino has made so much money. We should have the best district of school districts in the entire state. We should have state-of-the-art facilities. We should not be struggling to build schools. We should have had them built already. That's just my opinion, right? And according to an email I also received, they said Pretlow was asked why Yonkers, because Yonkers received 70% of, I guess, what they generate. The New York State, I say, not Yonkers, New York State receives 70. So Gary Pretlow was asked why Yonkers could not get 10% and the state gets 60%. And his response was that the state knows what's best for Yonkers. Although Mike Spano and Chuck Lesnick don't think so, right? They wouldn't want to see the state come in and take control of the city's finances. The casino made billions, yet every year since the casino opened its doors, Yonkers and its band of delegates have driven up to Albany begging for money. Every year since we had this deal in place, we still have had individuals, including the mayor, obviously, go up to Albany begging for more money for the schools, right? If there was someone there, right? And this is what I hope that we see next year when we get a new mayor, someone that can negotiate strongly with this new MGM grant coming in or MGM casino coming in and say, hey, we're not doing this $20 million. We're doing profit sharing. Okay, we're doing profit sharing because you guys generate more and more profit each year, yet we're not going to stay capped like we did in the last deal where it was 20 million every year. Meanwhile, the casino saw record profits year after year. I mean, they made billions of dollars, billions. So why is it that the city of Yonkers still goes up to Albany and it's begging for money constantly? Why are we still hearing from elected officials that it's the state not giving us enough money? Why? I want to show you a video, Mayor Mike Spano going up to the state actually to ask for money. Andrea Stewart Cousins was the person he was speaking with.
And the staff who have come to present the needs of Yonkers. We did have an opportunity to hear the superintendent, and he made the point also in terms of not only the infrastructure needs of the school, but the lack of some of the basics, whether it's the math, art, so on. I'm not sure, and I just want to make sure you asked for an increase in AIM funding, and I know that we were talking about the components of our revenue sources, but did you put a dollar figure on how much,
we
or
asked for
you just
10
anything?
We just took a shot. We took a stab. We figured if we
Don't
stayed
smile
at
when you're doing. Be serious. Yeah.
okay, I'll be very. So we figured if we stick with the 2%
Okay.
increases, that we'd be about
Okay.
10.8 million.
Okay. So at least a 2% would be helpful in terms
Yeah,
of.
that would be consistent with the governor's 2% growth, so it's not to exceed that.
Gotcha. Because there has not been an increase in AIM
That's right.
funding for.
That's right, and that's been a real burden for us because again, even if we're doing everything we can to try and come up with additional revenues, we're trying to solve the labor contracts, and which is a real challenge, especially with some of the issues that we deal with. To get it all together, again, we're paying for the sins of the past. The city's doing well. The city's starting to grow. Our revenues are up across the board, and that's a good thing for us because economically we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
But problem is our costs are still climbing at a much faster rate than we can afford to keep up with. So
our costs are climbing at a much faster rate. than we can keep up with. And why is that? And why is that? And I want to play a video here in a little bit in regards to the city vehicles, right? And that's a cost that we can do without, right? And he says that, we're doing better, we're moving forward, but we are paying for the sins of our past. So he's blaming it on past administrations. Miss Vinnie Spanos, IDA, MGM, gave MGM many millions of dollars in tax breaks and pilots over the years for years to come. And this Miss Vinnie Spano you're referring to is Jamie McGill Spano. She is the wife of City Clerk Vincent Spano, the brother of Mayor Spano. And the IDA is the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency, which, by the way, the mayor is the chair of. And they are the agency that gives the tax breaks, are supposed to, bring in these developments and encourage developers to come and build here. And they do so by providing them with tax breaks or pilots, payments in lieu of taxes, right? And largely that's in reference to property taxes, although they get breaks on sales taxes, and other tax breaks, sales and use taxes, right? So, but the primary is the property taxes, which helps fund our schools, right? That funds our schools. So we need that money. So when all these developers, right, these rich multimillionaire developers come in here, they build their developments, they make money, they get tax breaks, much needed money that we need for our schools, right? They make out. It benefits them. That is why Tasha Diaz voted down the housing ordinance when she flip-flopped on the vote to override the mayor's veto. She was for it, and then she wasn't, because she really wasn't for it from the beginning. And that benefited the developers in the same way that receiving these pilots benefits them and hurts the city, right? And so it's the mayor's sister-in-law that is the executive director of the IDA. The mayor is the chairman, and the president is James Kavanaugh, who is the husband of Wilson Kimball, CEO of Municipal Housing Authority of the city of Yonkers. Andrea knows how corrupt these goons are. Why would she give us more money for them to steal? And maybe that's been a problem. Maybe that's why the state has not been so generous with money when it comes to Yonkers anyway. They understand that there's a lot of money being siphoned, right? A lot of money is being allocated elsewhere. And another reason why other schools, other districts like Rochester and Syracuse get more money is because they also have more charter schools. Yonkers only has one charter school, while Rochester, I believe, or is it Syracuse, one of the two have about 18, but they have a lot more. And so the state gives them money for these charter schools. So that's additional funding that they get there. But they don't mention why maybe these cities get more. And Rochester is bigger than Yonkers, although we are the third largest city, but Rochester is bigger, and it's also the second poorest city in the country. That's right. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if I would call that a fun fact. Isn't that a conflict? Nick does lobbying for MGM, and his sister-in-law doles out tax breaks for Nick's clients, including MGM. 1,000%. It's absolutely a conflict of interest. I mean, yeah, let's talk about it. Right? Why is the mayor the chair and his sister-in-law is the executive director? Well, that's so they can maintain power. They control that agency. And then they stick their homeboy Kavanaugh in there as president. And so they have a racket going on there, right? They have this business model, if you will, where Big Brother Nick does the consulting. They reach out to Nick. Hey, Nick, we want to do this in Yonkers. How can you help us out? Well, for $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year, maybe 50 or more, I can assure that you will have no issues with the building department, right? No issues with purchasing property or no issues with zoning laws. Just saying. Just saying. What the F? Yeah, what the F? Silly Melvin, laws only apply to us, not politicians. Pass the ZD, please. Melvin, that reference right there, that statement is not liked. That definitely makes people upset. Must make for very interesting Sunday gravy. Yonkers only charter schools also a client of ESP. They pay monthly to make sure competition is kept out. Absolutely. And not only that, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the guy that runs that charter school was at the public hearing, and he spoke in support of the term extension. What a surprise, right? And I also must mention that, Carmen Gomez Goldberg also works for the charter school. She has a close relationship with Nick Spano. Her daughter, Lena, or stepdaughter, Lena Goldberg Velasquez, is moving on up. She's going to the Supreme Court. Became a city court judge. I think she was there for maybe 2 years, and then she moved on up because they have that system in place. You work with us, we work with you. And I guess I just wouldn't work with them. I'm just not a workable guy, right? Anyway, folks, I want to move on to this video here of our schools with Mike Spano.
I just love Yonkers, and I love the young people in our city. We're such a diverse group, and there are so many different personalities and so many different cultures and backgrounds, and everyone's unique unto themselves. And it's that diversity that kind of gives us our strength. It makes us who we are.
When I walk in schools and I see that my young people are learning in converted libraries, in converted art rooms, in basements, it's just unacceptable. It's not something we should be doing in New York State.
And you look at these schools and you know that our kids aren't getting the same opportunities that they're getting in neighboring communities.
A 21st century education requires the facilities meet the standards of a 21st century education. Rebuilding Yonkers schools is not a luxury, it's a must for our city, is a must for our students, is a must for learning. Therefore, let us give our administrators, let us give our teachers, let us give our students the best facility possible.
Not just reading, writing, and arithmetic, but they want to be able to get the whole experience. Make sure that there's music and art, sports available. When all that comes together in the right environment, in other words, good, clean schools that offer a lot of amenities, the sky's the limit.
Sky is the limit. That's right. Education is very important. And I wanted to show that. And so, again, we've been talking about our schools and what they need and what we need to do and how we're going to be doing it and then how they're improving. And the graduation rate has improved significantly. Yet many parents are complaining. Yet schools are in need of a whole lot. And I guess it came to, we've come to a place where every little improvement, a little tiny thing is like, oh man, wow, the schools are really improving. But the reality is that Yonkers Public Schools lack so much. And I'm not trying to insult the teachers, not insulting the superintendent, administrators. I understand that they are limited. They could only do so much, right? I mean, they can't do outside of what they're giving, what the resources that they have. And so a lot of this is on the administration. The administration who, through an IMA, got the school budget to be put with the city's budget. And so now it's one budget that's controlled by the administration. And this was over some accounting mishap that supposedly happened, right? But all the money we've been receiving from Empire City Casino, at this point, we should have had state-of-the-art schools. We should have had new schools built by now. We should have had all this done. So Mayor Spano should say, listen, I'm looking for another 4 more years because look at all this that I've done. They talk about the progress that he's made, but what progress is that? It's general statements. Where? Look at the downtown waterfront, the pier. Just that little area. And even that's not so great. I mean, really, what improvements have he done? Can he go and show us schools and how they have improved? Could he show what was added to our Yonkers Public Schools for our kids? I know we probably are in need of a middle school, definitely another high school. And just today, I'm learning from my kids over at YMA, there must have been a fire drill or something, or something was wrong with the fire alarm, but it kept the kids outside in the rain, in the cold for about a half hour. Why? And so my daughter was showing me this TikTok video of a young girl. And I don't know if I want to play it. I mean, it's nothing wrong, but it's just, I don't want to put her face out there. But she's outside in the field, in the mud. It's raining. She's cold. My son told me, Daddy, there was a young kid. He said a young kid. He's, 7. And he was crying because he was cold. I don't know why they had us. And my son is very real vocal. He's very, expressive, for his age. So he's very detailed in his description. And he says, he's a 3-year-old. He was outside, Daddy, and he was soaked and wet and he was cold and he was crying because he was cold. I don't know why they had us out there so long. And I don't know why either. But it was to the point where the principal had to call the parents and let us know that this had happened. Right? And so I don't know what the story is there, but to keep kids out in the rain, in the cold for a half hour, and there's no fire, no firemen came, from my understanding, it's just unacceptable. And so we have work to do. We have a lot of work to do. But again, it starts at the very top, And we've had management problems, like Mike Spano once said when he wanted to become mayor for the first time. It's about management. The money has been mismanaged. I want to go and show this video in regards to cars. And this is one of the many ways that the money has been mismanaged. He took away the cars in the very beginning, but then he gave them back. And it was all a game, folks, right? He said, I'm going to take these cars, and he did. But what he did is, okay, I got the cars away from everyone now. Now, you better kiss my you-know-what if you want a vehicle. And little by little, people lined up to kiss his you-know-what, and they got a car.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm joined here today by Commissioner. You want to come stand a little closer with the Commissioner of DPW, Tom Meyer. Today, we're just here to announce the initial phase, what we like to call, kind of come up with acronyms here, the Comprehensive Asset Reduction Schedule. That's also known as CARS. The first phase, where we have actually gone through the city, where we've reduced the fleet, both in terms of real reductions of real cars and in terms of take-home cars, at a savings of about 100,000 miles to the taxpayers. We're taking 40 cars. 40 of the 93 cars have been returned. You're seeing them here. You're also looking here at what we call at a Lincoln Navigator. And let me just tell you the story about the Lincoln Navigator. This was a drug-seized car, which was then brought into the administration. It was used for some time by the administration. As you can see, it's a big gas guzzler. That car has been returned, will be sold, and the dollars that are given back will actually be put back into law enforcement, back into the program. Some of the other cars you see here today are now marked. Part of what we did was we attempted to eliminate as many cars as we could, and the cars we could not eliminate. So in other words, there were individuals either through contractual reasons or for reasons that these cars are required to be taken home on a 24-hour basis. Those cars are marked. No longer will we have individuals driving cars that have passenger plates on it. And because, let's face it, if the car looks like a personal car, it will be treated like a personal car. We want our vehicles to be marked, to have official plates on them, so the taxpayers know that these cars are in the street, and that will give us an added protection. The new policy will be that there will be certain commissioners and department heads, also certain members of the mayor's staff that will have cars only if they are required to be on call 24 hours a day. Again, this will save us a significant amount of money in wear and tear, save us a significant amount of money in gasoline, and quite frankly, it will save us dollars because we won't have to buy as many cars to replace some of the aging fleet. We can actually use some of what's here. The 50 or so vehicles that we've saved will be auctioned off, or again rotated into the fleet. Some of the other areas that we have made some cost savings aside from cars, which we'll announce today, is in the area of health coverage. Under the previous administration, the top administrative staff did not pay for health coverage, did not pay into the cost of the health coverage. That policy has ended. Every single person in the mayor's administration, including the mayor, will pay into their health coverage. 20% for single, 10% for family. That will give us an average cost savings of anywhere between $100,000 and $150,000 annually. Again, the reason we do that is because everyone in the administration should be treated the same. So as we go through this tough economic time, and as we go through a tough budget, the taxpayers need to know that we are doing as much as we can to try and reduce the cost, reduce the burden to our budget, which will then have reduce the burden on them as the taxpayers. With that, I wanted to say special thanks.
With that, we discuss. So he went in there, he said we taking all these cars, including a Lincoln Navigator, that's a gas guzzler that was seized in a drug bust. And I believe there was somebody from the Board of Ed that was actually driving that Lincoln Navigator. And so he said we're going to save a lot of money, right? Only people that are going to have cars are mayor staff who are on call for whatever reason for 24 hours. They're going to save by reusing some of these cars, that they took away. They're going to save instead of buying them, buy new ones. And also, they saved about 50 of them. And then top administrators did not pay into healthcare. Now they were going to be paying into healthcare, saving the city annually $150,000 a year. Now, I don't know about the healthcare thing, if that's changed or not. But I will say that the car situation has definitely gotten worse, right? Who are the individuals that have cars here in the city of Yonkers that should not have cars? And I think we'd all agree that the members of the city council probably should not have cars. Their cars are not marked. The only way you know is by the plate, if you can see it. As you get older, I know it's getting harder for me to see. But I do spot them based on the plate. I've seen them many times, at night, on weekends. And I wonder to myself, are they allowed to have these cars on the weekend if they're not doing anything, official for the city? Maybe just like going to an event, fundraiser. Is that a reason, a justifiable reason to use a city car? And I've heard the stories of some of the council members driving them outside city limits, crossing bridges down to the Jersey Shore. I've heard of council members crashing more than 2 and 3 cars. Yet they still all have cars. And many of them do not even, have a car outside of that city car. Well, not many. I said there are about 1 or 2 that don't, right? And many of them, and all of them actually during the pandemic never came to City Hall. Everything was Zoom. And even after we went back, right after the pandemic, everything started opening up, they still, for maybe a month or so or longer, we're still doing everything through Zoom. And they've actually recently voted on some legislation that will allow them to do more communication, more meetings via Zoom. And so why would they need cars? Right? And commissioners like maybe the building department doesn't need a car. I don't know if he does, Sam Borelli. I don't think he would need a car. Of course, obviously our first responders commissioners, yes, they should. Worst mayor, JP, how you doing? Good to see you. Why isn't Spano's car emblazoned with logos and official plates? And his police driver on OT 24 hours a day. He gets chauffeured around from bar to bar to restaurant to bar. Wow. Well, if you have any video of anything of that, please definitely submit it to Basement Politics. politicwithfred@gmail.com. I have gotten videos of individuals in their city cars with official plates, though, and doing things like going to Carvels, right, with grandkids and stuff. I hear that individual goes to Connecticut where they actually live using a city car, an SUV that is a gas guzzler. When was the last time Spano contributed to his health insurance? I'm not sure. He failed to point out that non-unionized employees and officials only contribute to health insurance for their first 6 years of employment, and then they contribute nothing to their health insurance. Wow. Really? Nothing? Schools should teach young people how to interact with the police when stopped in the street, in their vehicles. I've been saying that for years. Cops are taught de-escalation. How about teaching non-escalation to our adolescents? The more you know. Yeah, I think that's not necessarily a job for schools. I think that's a job for parents, and I don't think it's necessarily should be geared toward how you engage cops, but how you engage people in general, right? If I was taught, and I've never had a issue with cops because I've always engaged them with respect, just because I have respect for people in general, right? And I think so. If kids are taught respect at home, right, by their parents, when they go out into the world, they'll give everyone respect. Doesn't matter if they're a police officer or if they're, the bus driver, or if they're, whoever it is, the cashier, whoever they encounter, they should always be polite and respectful and engage them, in that manner. And if they're pullover, especially, right, they should have a level of respect for law enforcement. That should be, again, something I think that should be taught at home, and our, society as a whole should kind of, instill that in us. They should be paying income tax for the value of the mileage they use for commuting and personal use, but they don't. And I've heard that. I heard that they do not, report their cars and the car usage on their income taxes. So IRS, if you're listening, you might want to look into that. Fair point, but parents are going to do it, and we all know that, or aren't going to do it. Well, I don't think we all know that. I think that, maybe we know that in the sense that, that's unfortunate that we see that a lot, but it shouldn't be that way, right? So we should all expect parents to teach them that, right? We shouldn't all, expect them not to, right? So, and that's the thing. And so we have to tell people, hey, this is what's expected. And this is how, and so I do that with my kids. I make sure that they say, thank you, yes, sir, no, man. Again, we are in the Midwest a lot. And so the kids always say, yeah, ma'am, sir, man, all the time, it doesn't matter. And even at the drive-through, there's a lot of teenagers that work at the fast food places. So they'll hand you the bag and they'll say, how you doing, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And we teach our kids to do that, especially when I'm talking to my kids and, and I'm being firm and I'm being serious. And they know how to answer. They say, yes, ma'am. Yes. Oh, not to me, my wife. Yes, sir. And that's something that we teach them. But we have to encourage more people to do that. We can't just, I don't like to be negative. I don't like to put negative energy out there, right? To say that we know that they aren't doing it. I like to say, that's what they should be doing. But I hear what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to be positive, I guess, about it. But I think that it definitely should be something that's taught at home. Let me see what else videos I got here that maybe I want to share really quick before I get off. We'll be at 33 minutes. And so I want to go back really quick. Actually, I'm going to talk about the cadet thing, but I just want to go back to this casino thing. Because again, any individual that's going to be mayor, right, in the city of Yonkers is going to have to negotiate really hard with this empire, or this MGM, I should say, casino that's coming in. Full gaming. They're going to be generating billions of dollars. And it would be a shame if Yonkers sees something like 20 million, even 40 million. We should be doing profit sharing. It should be a percentage of the profits. And I say that because that way we can also, and I say we, the people of Yonkers, the city of Yonkers, can also benefit from their gains, right? When they see, big years where for whatever reason they had more money come in that year, we also see that rather than be capped at the same amount of money. So it's important that we do a profit sharing. And maybe someone should even consider the idea of profit sharing with its residents. I think that'd be a dope idea. And again, I mentioned this in a podcast, and I talked about casinos on Native American reservations, right? They profit share with the Native Americans who live there. Automatically, they receive a certain amount of money every month. And some of them receive $8,000 to $10,000 a month just for being Native American from that reservation and because there's a very successful casino on it. And so why don't we consider something like that, Yonkers? Wouldn't you guys like to receive a monthly check from the casino? You know, $1,000, $2,000. Wouldn't that be nice? I think that would help support, you know, or supplement our income. And maybe we could say, hey, you luxury developer guys, maybe you don't have to worry about the affordable housing units because guess what? The casino is going to supplement that. So we can afford it now. So if you put X amount of affordable units, let's say, and you keep them maybe, you know, 500 or whatever below market rates for affordable, the casino will supplement that. And that's what they have to do. And so we have to get creative like that. We have to have people that are going to be in our city government that are going to be creative and want to really fight for the people and come up with these ideas and actually execute timely fashion too. We're still waiting on this housing thing. Come on, guys. Empire City Casino at Yonkers Raceway has reached a historic 1 billion milestone in contributions to the general fund earmarked to aid education in New York State. It was announced today. Well, if they hit a historic 1 billion for the school aid, imagine how much the casino made. The total was reached this past weekend. And again, this is back in 2010, October 25th, almost 4 years to the date of the casino opening, which was in 2006, making the average contribution $250 million annually. Wow. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And of course, they able to contribute that gladly because they make so much money. They killing it. They're making a killing. I want to go really quick on my Facebook page, and I want to show you moving along real quick with 36 minutes. I just want to talk again, going into the schools, right? And today I saw a video from City Hall where, you know, they had the ceremony for the Yonkers police cadets, and they posted it. Folks, you know, I really want you guys to understand that, you know, you see what they're doing now, right? It seems like almost what we're talking about here in the podcast, what we're sharing, posts and stuff, they're now moving on it. Right? I've been speaking about, you know, a program where students from the Yonkers Public Schools can learn to, you know, or get prepared for our different departments here, fire, police, you know, school district, the DPW, sanitation, you know, city maintenance and stuff like that, if they're not looking to go to college maybe. And so, you know, now I see this cadet thing they're showing and it's great. I don't care who does it. I just want to see it done. So if that's what it takes to get it done, we have to light a fire in their ass. So let's do that. So be it. And so I want to show that because I thought it was dope. And I think they should get recognition, the students. And one of them was from my wife's school over at Roosevelt. I'm just going to say that. Listen, I ain't even saying nothing. I just get the look. Come on. You know, it's a shame that, you know, as I load this up, that people are really trying to really stall and try to, you know, stop what I'm trying to do here. Like you're trying to spite me and you're ending up hurting the community that I'm trying to, you know, give to, right? Because you don't want to see me do good because you want to stop me from doing good and then use your, you know, tools to make me look bad. And it sucks because I see what's happening. You know, and I'm just trying to do good. Everybody knows Freddie Vasquez, just about now. And I'm not saying that with arrogance. I'm saying that to someone, right? Everybody knows me. What do you mean? What's not to, who am I? You don't know me. Everybody knows me. Everybody knows me. Let me just say that. And I know some of you might be confused, but it's something that I had to say. This is it right here. This is the kid at school. Hard. TikTok already. I mean, I guess. It's cold here. I don't know how to make it bigger. And it's so hard. And it's cold here. These are the kids outside at YMA. And so they decided to put a TikTok video. Look at the young kids in the back. And it's so... Folks, I love our kids. I love the kids. I love them. I do. This is what I love to do. I like to see people succeed. And not just kids. I love to help, you know, anyone, adults as well, if I can, if I'm able to, you know. So that's all I want to do. So please, guys, you know, let's not, you know, go there. Let's not go there. Empire City Casino. I got put some old videos up, so take a look at it if you get a chance. Take a look. I don't know where I put that cadet program. Where did I put the video? City of Yonkers had it up. I'm going to load it up. It was the Yonkers Police Cadets. So, you know, again, I got an email, and they talked about cadet programs and how 20 years ago, they set up the Yonkers Police Cadet Program for the students, as well as a fire cadet program. And I didn't even know that. I thought that was dope, a fire cadet program. And, you know, I was told that that was, however, ultimately, you know, they stopped that program because it wasn't, they didn't want to fund it, or there was no funding. And I believe someone said it was by the recent commissioner, you know, that they stopped it. But, you know, they had this stuff. They had a lot of stuff for our kids in the city of Yonkers, and our kids, for whatever reason, suffered and got the short end and got the cut. And the city of Yonkers seems to be supporting Stepanak, huh? Why is that? A lot of connection with the city of Yonkers and Stepanak, our city officials and their kids. Is it? I'm not sure where it went. I'm sorry, folks. I was trying to show you that cadet thing. But anyway, I wanted to talk about that because I've been talking about a program where kids can learn and work towards, you know, going into one of our many departments. It's important that we have, you know, people from the city of Yonkers that grew up here, that came up in the Yonkers public schools, to have that opportunity, and it'd be an equal opportunity for all students. So that way they can spread those opportunities of jobs within the city, and we can also spread the income, right? The income that's distributed by the city of Yonkers. Because right now, the way it's set up, I believe, is fostering income inequality here in the city of Yonkers, because, you know, not many people are able to get these jobs. I mean, you've seen what I've been posting. You see the audio that I put out, sent to me by a resident who has been trying to get a job the right way for years and could not. And this is how he was told he can get a job. But he can't afford the $500 checks that they were asking for. And so it was not going to work out that way. So he said, you know, I'd rather see you, Freddie, bring it to light, expose it and stop it so it can be fair for everyone. And that's why I'm doing this. And that's why many others are doing it, even those that may have been hooked up initially, right? They should be paying income tax for the value of the amount. I read that already. Fair point. We had the only negotiations with MGM will be how much they will be paying Empire Strategic Planning each month. Again, that is Nick Spano's consulting company that has contracts with many companies here, private companies here in the city of Yonkers. They pay these consultant fees. And I'm thinking, maybe had I paid ESP consulting fees, I might have several daycares opened up by now. And I'm getting some information, interesting information, folks, about other daycares, because people just, you know, they support us. You have to understand, to those who want to talk about us negatively, people support us and they will do things in support of us. And so I'm getting information on other daycares that have operated without proper C of Os. Opening ceremonies announced and this, that, and the third, not proper documentation. Applications denied. But it looks like they're starting to get in gear, as Freddie Vasquez is talking about it on Basement Politics. It's okay, we see it, but we're not really trying to blow your spot. The goal is to make it fair for everyone, right? And when someone has an idea, someone else who has a hookup with someone in the city of Yonkers doesn't steal that idea and run with it because they have the hookup with their friend in the city of Yonkers who's going to support them in every way possible. So that's not okay. That's the same as the Family and Friends Network for nonprofits. It's crazy. What's going on here? You got to see some of the conditions people are living. So I talked about that. Yes, great idea. We should do a cadet program for Yonkers for Yonkers Police, Yonkers Fire Department, DPW, all the different departments within DPW. And then also they should create an EMT program. They should make EMT a part of the Yonkers Fire Department. But unfortunately, like many of us know, ESP, Empire Strategic Planning, has a nice deal with Empress, which is why they get away with a lot, including their delayed response time, which I've spoken about with Anderson Flan on Inside Yonkers. That's something that he's really been passionate about letting people know. And someone made a comment here about that, about Empress, and I wanted to find that Empress comment. Did you guys? I don't know where it went. But yeah, but they, ESP, Empire Strategic Planning, Empress is also one of their clients. So is that the reason why the EMT idea that has been brought up before by other people is not something that's unique and original, I didn't bring it up. I didn't create the idea. I'm just kind of, suggesting it again. But will it ever happen? Because Empress, who has, pretty much full domination over the ambulance service here in the city of Yonkers, pays Empire Strategic Planning. Sources are also alleging that possibly Nick Spano may own a piece of Empire. Oh, I'm sorry, Empress. Or one of the Spanos may have a percentage in Empress and other businesses throughout the city of Yonkers, including gas stations and catering halls, to name a few. And so I'll be discussing a lot of that stuff because it's very important as we see our schools not get much, deteriorate still each year. Our elected officials are getting richer and richer. They are building their portfolios, their wealth, while the city of Yonkers has gone to almost hell, if you see some parts of it. And what has been the solution to bring in luxury developments? I don't think so. I don't think so. Folks, again, I want to go back to unity. I'm about to get up out of here, 46 minutes. I appreciate you joining me again. Let's talk about unity, though, before I leave. It's very important that we have unity. We have to not allow these individuals to divide us because they will, and they're trying hard. I know that they're reaching out to people, trying to get them to join forces against me, looking for anything they can find to put out against me. And so now individuals who I normally had no issue with, all of a sudden got an issue with me now. But I want to put up some text messages that were sent to me by someone. This was from someone that's is supposed to be, a good member, a community activist, community leader in the community doing good things, right? But many of us know that person is full of crap. Right? And this is one of the text messages she sent someone. Really? I thought we passed the pettiness. Why would you pile on? That young lady has mental health issues. She is going after Tasha Diaz and numerous other people, including me. We all acknowledge she needs help. So we have all decided not to give her accusations any attention in hopes that she will just stop. If you don't, that's it. If you don't believe what I'm saying, reach out to Tasha Diaz. I mean, why is our majority leader always involved in some mess? She wants to paint it like she's the victim. Everybody's attacking her. She has been harassed for her entire term. But she isn't one that's involved in a bunch of conflicts with a bunch of different individuals. Whether it's, tenants at a housing association meeting, she's threatening them. She's threatening John Rubo. She's calling Corazon Pineda Isaac a broke B. I mean, she yelled at Diana Sanchez, calling her a beggar in front of everyone in a live meeting. She ranted and yelled and aggressively, creating chaos within the gallery. And she has not once apologized at all for her behavior. She simply has justified it by saying that she is the victim. She's the victim. Majority Leader, I'm sorry to tell you, but the city of Yonkers, we are the victims. Look at our city council. Unbelievable, folks, what's going on here in the city of Yonkers. So we have to do stuff to improve our schools. We have to make sure that we look to next year to really vote individuals that truly care, competent, that are going to get the job done. One of the main focus has to be our schools, folks. Has to be jobs. And it has to be the homelessness. We have to figure out what's going to happen with housing. I want to show a really quick video here, actually, in regards to homelessness. What are they doing? What are they doing? Oh, I think it went down. This is the mayor, Chris Johnson, I believe. And they're talking about the homeless problem. I don't know where that dang email went. That video. I don't know where it went. I was going to show a video about homelessness, see what they say. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm up out of here. Thank you for joining me tonight. Once again, I appreciate the support. As always, love you guys. Yonkers, we're going to do this. And listen, folks, we got to be organized and we got to be united, right? We got to show a united front. Okay, so we must communicate. We must, come together. You know what I'm saying? We have to do this as one. That's the way it's going to work. It's the only way it's going to work. We have to be careful also because I believe that there are going to be individuals that are going to come around. They're going to have their own agenda. That are going to utilize the work that the people have done, the work that I've done here in Basement Politics and others to expose what's happening here in the city of Yonkers. And they're going to come in and say, oh, well, maybe there is a chance. And they're going to try to run for something. Because now the Basement Politic viewers, the supporters, the sources, Freddie Vasquez, we have done the hard work. We have put ourselves out there and they're going to come in and just benefit off that. We're not going to allow that because there's individuals that are not genuine. So if you're not here for the fight now, we don't want to see you running for office later. So we have to make sure that we understand that because they will throw people in there. They're going to be just people coming around. And these individuals are going to also be, a cause for division among those who want to see change. So we have to be careful. Who says that they want to see change? Who says that they're for voting out Mike Spano and the rest of the council? They might want to just use our movement for their own gain. And I'm starting to see that. And we're going to call you out. Well, at least I am. So we want to see you putting your neck on the line for this fight. We want to see you speaking out publicly. If you're going to run, or if you want to run, or if you are intending on running, then I want to see you speaking out. Don't let other people do the work, take the retaliation, and then you come in and take the glory. It's not going to happen that way. And it's not about glory. It's about finally providing the people of Yonkers with real representation. Representation that is for the people and by the people. I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you folks. As always, dang, where did that video go? I wanted to show that video. It's about the homelessness. I don't know where the heck I put it. Don't know where it went. Mike Spano on Elm Street. I got a video here. And a Shelley Mayer ad. It's an ad against Shelley Mayer by Mike Spano. I didn't want to show it though. I don't want to show anything negative about Shelley Mayer, Senator Shelley Mayer. Great woman. I like her a lot, actually. Got a lot of respect, Shelley. Can't wait. Can't wait. I'm up out of here. I'm Freddie Vasquez, folks. Have a beautiful and blessed night. I don't know where that video went. Sheesh. I want to show it. I want to see what they got to say. Oh, here we go. No, that's not it. That's not it. See, these guys are always at the same functions and all that. You think it's the same video, but it's not. Not now. Anyway, folks, I'm going to be showing a bunch of old videos, so make sure you watch. You stay tuned. I posted a bunch of old ones on the podcast. On the page. So check it out. I posted one of Mike Breen from back in the day. You can tell he's, looking a little younger, a little slimmer, definitely. Check it out. I also posted, I didn't know that Dell from Yonkers Insider actually ran for county legislator at one point. And I put that video up. Started finding some interesting video from Westchester News, a woman by the name of Barbara Ricci or something like that. Yeah, she has a lot of interesting videos there. Check that out. I'm going to be posting them up anyway. So, yeah, it's good to check that out. It's good to go back into time a bit. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm up out of here. Have a beautiful and blessed night. Thank you. Once again, let's remember change. Change. We got to vote these people out next. Yeah. I want my payback. We want our payback. And that means to vote you out. We're not talking about violence. We do it through our voices. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Thank you for joining me once again. Today is Wednesday, November 30th, 2022. They are trying to do whatever they can to silence me and shut me down. Folks, don't fall for the bait. Out of talking, man. Makes my mouth dry. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. All right. And by the way, if you got any questions, give me a call, because that's what I do. I call you. I didn't call to threat anyone. I called to see what's going on. I don't understand. John, I don't know what's up. Del. But listen, we got to come together, right? We could be a powerful force or not. It's up to you. It's up to you. Either way, it's okay with me. I'm going to do what I do. Folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. Shout out to the Yonkers Sanctuary Movement. Shout out to you, Diana Sanchez. Hope all is well. Shatika Parker, shout out to you. How's everything? Hope we can, maybe get together sometime. I would love to have you on the show. Reach out to me, politicwithfred@gmail.com. politicwithfred@gmail.com. I'd love to have you on the show. Hi to Santiago. It was good talking to you, brother. We did speak on the phone. We're trying to show the community that we are about unity, right? And we want to be a role model to everyone, that we can come together despite our differences for the greater good. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Join me. 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 Join us. Westchester County. Yonkers planning $20 million waterfront park in city's southwest section. Right across the street from the Spano property, actually.
What you need to get the job done.
You guys know what I'm talking about? 132 Fernbrook.
Of Yonkers. But now, there's an effort to make way for a new county park in the city. And as News 12's Nadia Galindo tells us, it has a waterfront view.
The Ludlow Park section of Yonkers is a diverse,
Fernbrook.
mostly low-income and working-class neighborhood where
Kicking the blacks out.
buildings far outnumber parks.
The city and the county, really has not historically done much.
Which is why residents like Ruth Montgomery are in disbelief that a park with a waterfront view is coming to Southwest Yonkers.
Really did not expect it this soon.
The city partnering with Westchester County on a $20 million project to take this vacant lot on Fernbrook Street
Right across from the...
transform it into a park along the scenic Hudson River.
But taking a significant piece of the water's edge here in the Hudson River and giving it.
Pay attention, corazón.
Plans are not finalized, but the park could include an amphitheater, boat slips, and a playground.
Officials say the park will be at least 2 to 3 acres, which is much larger than this lot alone. Which is why the city of Yonkers wants to buy this neighboring lot, which is currently a bus depot.
The park brings something positive to this Southwest Yonkers neighborhood, which has dealt with odor issues coming from this county wastewater treatment plant for years.
TOD.
Good enough. Process more than 50% of the sewage from the county. We're good enough to start enjoying this beautiful river.
Leaders now working to get federal dollars to update the facility, which is important since it lies next door to the future county park.
We can make it a much more mixed-use area, friendly to pedestrians, friendly to neighbors.
The long
You sure you want that, Ruth?
A walkway from this park to downtown Yonkers. Nadia Galindo, News 12.
Oh, man. Ruth, are you sure you want that, Ruth? You know what's going to happen in that area, Ruth? It's going to be very crowded now, Ruth. Super crowded, but maybe you're looking to sell your home. Is that what it is, Ruth? That's probably what it is. You're like, I want to get out of here. I don't care. I'm going to sell my house because, like, the Spanos know that's going to drive up the property values there. And the property that they own, 132 Fernbrook, the property that's in the Mike Cater lawsuit that is in the Ludlow study area, is directly across the street from that park. And so I would imagine once they build a waterfront park there, that property at 132 Fernbrook, which sits next to 130 Fernbrook, owned by Joe Cotter, the man building all the Lionsgate studios, will be worth buku cash, lots of money, a lot more money than the Spanos bought it for, right? And so that property, I believe, is owned by Nick Spano, maybe Lenny Spano. It's on the under a trust. There they have several trusts there, and they have properties under those trusts, and that's one of them. And so Mike Cater says that it's not okay that they wanted to, the council voted to use taxpayer money for the study to the tune of $500,000 when the mayor and his family stand to benefit I had conversations with Vinny Spano, and we did discuss the Ludlow proposal and the zoning that area and the zoning change that they were proposing. He seemed to be a little concerned with that. I remember the night that the Cater lawsuit came out, and I read it on the podcast. He called me up and he said, "Hey, I got some information, man." And again, Vinny Spano to me is just a regular guy like anybody else. And I was telling somebody that the other day. I said, I treat everybody. I don't care what your title is. Not that I disrespect you. I'm just saying that I don't like, oh my God, I don't. Oh yes, no. You're a regular dude, you know what I mean? Hey, bro, and I call you by your first name or whatever. It's how I am. So, I didn't pick up the phone right away and call, and he's like, "Hey, dude, you sure you don't want to? I'm going to show you text. Yo, you don't want to hear this, man? Come on. So I said, all right, let me see what he's got. Go down, grab me a cigarette, go to my garage, and I start talking. And he's outside. I can hear the crickets, and he's smoking. I don't know if it was his vape or an actual cigarette, but he was very stressed. I can tell he was very stressed. And I'm not sure how concerned he was about that. How concerned they are about that lawsuit that Mike Cater has and what he's implying there. But I believe that first night when I discussed it on the podcast, they were a little bit concerned about that. And I thought to myself when I'm talking to him, and again, I'll show the text messages in my podcast, interviews with a city clerk where he says, "Hey, thank you, for listening to me, man. I just needed to to vent and talk and stuff." And guess he was stressed out. And I like the guy. I did. I actually genuinely like the guy. It's just unfortunate that, the circumstances that exist, but it is what it is. And that's just the reality of life. Right. And so I'll be talking more about that. And one day, maybe I will have a book like many people are saying. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm up out of here. Jake Espinoza. Like you, man. Why don't you tell me your real name, Jake? Tell me your real name, Jake. I'm up out of here, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Thank you for joining me. That's the Ludlow scandal, Ludlow Park scandal. What's going on there? What's going on with all these zoning changes? Why is so many zoning laws being changed here in the city of Yonkers? Why? Who's changing all the zoning laws? Who's forcing board members out? I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Time for incredible teens. Yes, incredible teens. I want 3 incredible teens.
Freddie wins.
I'm up out of here, folks. Check out that Ludlow project. Learn about that. 132 Fernbrook. How much will that property be sold by the Spano family once that park is done? Why aren't they mentioning it? That's exactly why Basement Politics exists. That is the transparency that we are entitled to as the public. They work for us. We don't work for them. And so if you stand to make millions of dollars off a property that is located in an area that you plan on rezoning, and you plan on having the taxpayer pay for, then it is only right that we know about it.
Freddie wins.
How about some profit sharing, Nick?
Fatality. Freddie wins.
Please, my wife, I love her, guys. But my attorneys have been aware of, some recent comments that, and I'm not even talking about on Facebook. I'm gonna just say this, I have informed our attorneys about the kind of the harassment at this point that my wife has been experiencing. And so I'm gonna just say that, I think some of the things that were told to her are actually legal. I mean, I don't think that can be happening, right?
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Guess we'll have to find out soon.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I mean, everything is documented. That's what I'm saying. This is going to be big, folks. I'm telling you, this is going to be my Pulitzer Prize or whatever people have been telling me. I guess it is because it's going to be that big.
Freddie wins.
Don't worry about what I put out. You should be worrying about what I have not put out.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
That's all I got to say.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
What I put out is not what should concern you.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
In another one, Mr. Rumo lied to me. And and I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
A perfect solution. John Rubo, Inc. Who are his clients? I don't know. Who? Vinster? AMS.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want somebody to want a chicken. So thank you.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Don't let the jokes fool you.
No!
I want my respect from kindergarten. Shout out to the Lock Styles Pete. I want my respect from kindergarten Styles. That's what I'm coming for.